Okay, good evening. Tonight we are joined by Kim Ware, who has been taking over our Instagram account today and is now going to join us for a short interview and also to play a few songs. So welcome back, Kim, because you joined us back in May. So
Yeah,
back again.
yeah, thanks.
So 8 months later, I don't think anyone kind of really thought we'd still be doing this day to day. Obviously, here in England, we're still in lockdown for the third time now. So,
My
what is
God.
the day to day life currently like in North Carolina?
So I live in a really small town, and we just moved here from Atlanta over the summer, and it's pretty boring anyway. But it's a lot of. I mean, I'm mostly stay here. I'm in my aunt's old farmhouse. So my husband and I are kind of taking care of the house. We it's a big change from Atlanta, but it's nice. I mean it can be a little nerve wracking because he goes out more than me, and he's a chef. He's working in a restaurant, and working with the public and stuff. That's kind of scary. But yeah, for me, I mean, I mostly stay here.
So, do you miss the kind of the hustle and bustle of city life, being now sort of the rural living?
I'm liking this a lot more than I thought I would, but I miss the people in Atlanta so very much. I really do.
So, you've been sharing sort of your day with us on Instagram,
Yeah.
and obviously, you started off with your morning yoga routine with the cat and everything.
Yeah.
So, how important is that for you to kind of start your day with that kind of routine and keep these routines in place?
Oh, that's so important. My husband and I started doing yoga at like January 1st of this year. We started doing the morning yoga, the yoga with Adrienne, and she's awesome. But we've done it every single morning. So now for about, a month and a half, we haven't missed a morning. And so, yeah, I would say it's pretty essential. We're going to try to do it every single day this year.
So are you noticing kind of the differences already in doing it and the health benefits of it?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I've been doing yoga for years, but I needed something to push me a little. I had gotten pretty lazy with my own practice. And yeah, it's great. I am noticing, though, as far as the program we're doing now, like some of the moves that were challenging at the beginning are getting easier. So I guess I'm getting a little more flexible and gaining strength for sure.
So it must seem like almost a lifetime ago now, but going back, where we're about 16 months, you released your fifth album.
Yeah.
And obviously, looking back now, kind of how relieved are you that you got that out there before the world pretty much shut down?
Yeah, it's interesting because that album talks a lot about like home and kind of like finding my place and stuff like that. But I didn't really know when I was making those songs and recording those songs that I was going to have such a transition like I have over the past year and settled back home where my family is from and stuff. So that's pretty interesting. And so from that respect, yeah, I'm glad that it got out there. It's weird that it almost seemed like a precursor and like it was foreshadowing like things that were going to be happening in my life. But yeah, I'm definitely glad that I got it, wrapped up in time and got it out, and like that the release didn't get like interrupted by all of this or anything like that. So that's nice.
So are there any songs on there that you now kind of think almost have a different meaning to you with everything that's gone on, as you say, it being so focused on home? Are there any songs that maybe stand out now that didn't when you released it?
Yeah, I guess the one that probably does the most is it's the second track on the album is called Wants and Needs. And it starts with me saying, I need to go home. And it's all about kind of balancing things that you want to do with things you need to do. And it also ends with the line, I need to go home. And then my dad, who actually passed away in the summer of 2019, his voice after that song says, better get on home. So yeah, like I think that one probably more than any, it's like, oh wow, that really was like predicting my future in a lot of ways.
So were you at least able to get out and play a few of the songs live before March?
Yeah, for sure. Not many times, but we did have an album release show at Eddie's Attic, which is such a wonderful venue in well, it's in Decatur, right near Atlanta. We did that in November of 2019, and I played with the full band, and it was like a packed room, and it was amazing. It's one of the best shows I've ever had. So I'm so glad I got to do that. And then we played together again at the very, very beginning of March. And I think that was it. And I had no way of knowing that would be the last time I would get to play with those guys for so long, you know.
So does it seem strange now that, these are people you would play with every couple of weeks kind of thing, that it's now been nearly a year since you had that interaction?
Yeah, it's wild. And I remember after that Eddie show, because we all had such a great time, and we were talking about, like, it's hard to coordinate guys and get them on the road and stuff. So I do, when I play out of town, I would often do that by myself or as a duo or something. But we had so much fun. We were talking about doing some shows out of town, and we were just we were so excited about doing more in 2020. And so, yes, it's a bummer. I miss them a lot.
So fast forward to now, to 2021. You've obviously been quite busy in recent weeks, and you've now started your own podcast.
Yeah.
How kind of nice and refreshing has that been to kind of get started and have a weekly release of it?
I love it. I've done several podcasts before, but I had not done one in a while. But it is the highlight of my week. Like getting together it's usually with people that I know and catching up and kind of just talking about what we've been doing recently to just sort of cope with all of this. And it really it's been awesome. I really love doing it.
And have you found it's like quite a nice way to stay connected with people as well?
It really, really is. Yeah. I mean, for that, like, usually we chat for anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. And for that time, it's really just kind of like sitting down with them at a bar or over coffee or something. And, sometimes we get like really, really personal, and which I really like. And it's awesome. Yeah.
So last week, you released your first new music since October 2019.
Mm-hmm.
We've stopped making plans. How does it feel then to have that new music out?
Yeah, I was glad to get that out, because that song kind of just came out like when I wrote it, and I feel like it really does capture my 2020. And I think it's a good indication of like the direction that my newer songs are going in. Also, I worked with Jerry Key on that song, and I'm making a new album with him. And he basically did everything you hear on it except for obviously the vocals and my acoustic guitar. I sent him that, and he added everything else. And it was awesome to hear what he did to it. I think he really brought it to life. And yeah, I was glad to get that out because I think it is a bit different from my last album. And so I thought it would be neat to kind of show people like, hey, this is kind of what I'm doing now. And yeah.
So I know you're going to play it for us in a moment. So for people who haven't heard it, they might get a bit of a shock with some of the lyrics, but what was some of the reaction to when you first sent off those lyrics to production and things?
Well, I mean, Jerry just really embraced it. But yeah, I mean, I think, some people pointed out the line about the police, and for sure. And people seem to appreciate the bridge, because, that just pretty much says, spoiler alert, like that we got to stay connected to the people we love. Like, it's more important now, I think, than it's ever been. And yeah, I think people appreciated that I just was really, really honest in it.
Excellent. So do you want to play the new track then? So Stopped Making Plans.
Sure.
Play that for us. That'd be amazing.
All right, cool. I booked a trip to Germany late last year, 2020. 2019. I should have known it wouldn't come to pass. I hunkered down and wrote some songs, but they're too sad and way too long. I drew a crowd, it wasn't meant to last. We stopped making plans, no supply, no demand. We stopped making sense. Let's submit the evidence. I've got a friend in Italy. He's been alone since February. Can't hug his mom, can't see his brand new niece. Turn on the news, it's never good, so we protest in our neighborhood. Who can you trust if you can't trust the police? We stopped making plans, no supply, no demand. We stopped making sense. Let's submit the evidence. Call it a joke, call it a hoax. Just call the one you haven't called and say I love you the most. We stopped making plans, no supply, no demand. We stopped making sense. Let's submit the evidence. We stopped making plans, no supply, no demand. We stopped making sense. Let's submit the evidence. When we look back, we'll recognize that our demise started when we stopped making plans.
Thank you very much. So they say music's all about writing about the truth. That certainly rings true in that song, doesn't it?
Yeah, every bit of it.
But is there any line when you were writing you just kind of wanted to pause and almost believe that it wasn't true?
I mean, the only part that I guess is not like absolutely true is I did kind of switch the Germany and the Italy. And actually I did not book a trip to either place. But the song started me thinking about a good friend of mine, Andy, had booked a trip to Italy in late 2019. And of course it didn't happen. And so like that, I just started the song kind of just thinking about that. And then my mind kind of went to things that we wanted to do that we couldn't do. But I kind of switched it up. And the line about Italy was Mary Gaucher's violin player. He lives in Italy, and we're friends on Facebook. And he was posting about what was going on in Italy, like before coronavirus hit the U.S. And that had such a big impact on me. The part about his mom and his niece, I have no idea if he has a niece, but there was some artistic liberties taken, but I mean, just like I guess the heart of it and the feeling of it is definitely 100% true.
And what kind of reaction then have you had from people listening in the early days of it?
People seem to really appreciate it. I mean, I think they are taken by the fact that they recognize pretty quickly, especially people that are familiar with my previous work, that it is a bit different, but it also harkens back to an album I put out in 2014 called Close to the Sun. It was kind of more indie like that and had like some drum machines and stuff like that on it. So I think people that were a fan of that, they appreciate that. But yeah, it's gotten a really nice reaction. I mean, I think the being really personal and honest resonates with people.
So after such a high at the end of 2019, has it been tough to kind of stay creative over the last sort of year?
You know, for me, it actually has not been tough to stay creative, because I think that is really the only thing that I have. Like, I don't drink much. I don't do drugs and stuff. Like, it's my escape, and it is my means of coping with things. Songs help me really process things. And so I've been writing a lot. I've been playing a lot. You know, like you mentioned the podcast. I feel like creative wise, I've kind of been thriving. I'm also like, I quit my day job at the end of the year to focus on family and this house and stuff like that. So for the first time in honestly 20 something years, I have a lot more time than I used to have. So fortunately, I mean, that's been one of the silver linings for me in all this is I have really just embraced all my creative things, because that's what's kept me sane.
And do you think taking those sort of jumps now, do you think that will kind of help you now long term moving forward, or getting back started and back up on the road and back in the studio?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. Like, I'm working, Jerry Key and I have been working on a new album, just kind of doing it remotely. Like, I send the basic tracks to him, and he works on it in his studio, which is in Mebane, North Carolina. And so I'm hoping I'll be able to get that out maybe by the end of this year or the next year. And so it'll be nice to just have it, you know, like whenever we can go tour again and stuff like that. I feel like by that time I'll at least have a good bit of it done, you know, and I can have something that I'll be talking about. By then I'll probably know like when it's coming out and what the plans are for it and all of that. So that does help, I think.
So you spoke of drum machines earlier.
Yeah.
I understand you started out as a drummer.
I did, yeah.
So what do you think you'll be able to admit to your former self, the route that your music career would kind of take you on, and to the front behind the guitar?
Oh gosh, no, I never ever would have thought. Like, when I was really playing drums a lot, I haven't played in a while, but I still like to play from time to time. But like when I was in my 20s, and that's what I was doing, like I never ever would have thought that I would like become a songwriter. No.
When you kind of first picked up the guitar, were there the times you're like, no, I'm just going to stick to the drums? Do you kind of look back now and just be glad that you kind of kept going, kept working at learning the guitar?
Yeah, I really am. I mean, songs are like, they're like, I don't have any children. They're like my babies. And I think that's what's really cool about them is it's something that you can kind of like leave behind. And yeah, I mean, I really am glad that like I played guitar a little bit like back, you know, even like 15, 20 years ago. But I was never like serious about writing songs. And that didn't happen till around like 2007. But as soon as I did it, like I knew like, okay, this is something that I really want to do like for as long as I possibly can. It brings me a lot of joy. Yeah.
So before you play us out, obviously as restrictions are now slowly being eased in North America, obviously we're nowhere near here, have you kind of set yourself any goals then for the year ahead?
Oh gosh, one thing I learned about last year, as you can probably tell from that song, is like I was always a big planner and can't really plan much anymore. Honestly, the one thing I really, really want to do as soon as it is safe to do it, I want to go back to Atlanta and play a show with my band there. Like, I'm just dying to do that. And that's going to mean so much to me that, like, I'm not really thinking, like, much ahead of just being able, if I can just do that this, maybe like this summer or fall or something, I think that'll be amazing.
And have you been able to kind of stay in regular contact with the band while preparing this new album?
Yeah, we're friends, and I talk with at least some of them like pretty regularly. So yeah.
Nice. What song are you going to play from the album then to play us out today?
Well, I thought I would play. Thought I'd play "Sit on Your Hands," because that kind of took on like a different meaning or an additional meaning come last March. And it's one of my favorites off the album, so I thought I'd play that one.
Excellent. Yeah.
Just sit on your hands if that's what it takes not to touch me. I'll cover my lips, 'cause that makes it harder to kiss your mouth. Take out my brain, maybe that way I'll stop thinking things that I'm thinking about. And put on your coat, 'cause I think it's gonna get cold, dear. I won't sit too close, don't wanna pretend I can keep you warm. Take out my heart, these feelings, they just don't belong, dear. They'll only stir up the storm. And I know this is wrong, dear, but it's so hard to be strong here. And I wrote this song 'cause I can't say it's not going away. Here's the solo. Cover your ears, you don't wanna hear what I'm saying. And I'll close my eyes, I don't wanna see how you look at me. If I don't go to sleep, maybe I'll finally stop dreaming of things I know will never be. Wrong, dear, but it's so hard to be strong here. I know this is wrong, dear, but it's so hard to be strong here. I know this is wrong, dear, but it's so hard to be strong here. And I wrote this song 'cause I can't say it's not going away. I fall deeper each day. Just sit on your hands. 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 Sit on your hands. Just sit on your hands. Just sit on your hands if that's what it takes not to touch me. That's all.
Thank you very much, Kim. So thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you for
Obviously,
having
you
me.
are on our Instagram account at the minute, so feel free to keep posting throughout your day.
Okay, cool.
Look forward to see what else you get up to in the day. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for joining us this evening. It's been excellent catching up with you again.
Awesome. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
So no, thank you very much to all those who have tuned in, and obviously this is available on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch as well. So thank you very much, and we'll see you all soon.